What is up, everyone? It is your boy, What's Up, Riv, coming at you with the 5th episode of the Right from the River podcast. That's kind of wild to think, y'all. We've made it to 5 episodes. I think that's a little bit of a milestone. That's a good little starting milestone, you know? As you can tell, I didn't release an episode last week, but it's cool, man. You know, it's fine. My lady and I, or my significant other, we actually finally had a day off together for the first time in a very long time. So, you know, I prioritized life. You know, at the moment, the podcast is more so just a hobby that I like to do. So I really wanted to take advantage of the day with her, and it was totally worth it. I regret nothing. Sorry y'all didn't get a podcast last week, but who knows? We might do 2 podcasts this week. Because, yeah, while this is a hobby and I don't feel bad about prioritizing life before it, I still think it would be cool to give you guys a podcast for last week, too. But yeah, boom, rambling a bit. But that's literally what the podcast is. So we're starting off good. We're starting off well. Let's see what happened in the past 2 weeks, my guys, my gals, my folks. Folks. I like folks. That's a good one. But what happened? Last week when I had my day off with my significant other, I got my mustache dyed again. Got that back to a nice peacock blue looking color. Super dope, super clean. I fucking love it. People ask sometimes why I did the mustache, why I dyed it a different color. And it's just to shake it up, man. You gotta shake things up sometimes. You know, you gotta add a little zazz, pepper in a little zizz onto your. Don't say zizz. Zizz isn't the right word. Pepper in some zazz into your life a bit. You know, it's good. But yeah, before we get too far into the rambles for today, I wanted to start off with the beginning of the bit bong rip. That's right. Ooh, we got I think a different strain this week. I don't think we've tried this one on the podcast just yet, but this week we are going to be smoking on Animal Mints. Animal Mints is a nice indica leaning hybrid. It's a cross between, what's it a cross between? I think it's like Animal Cookies and like GG4 or something like that. It used to be Gorilla Glue, but you know, because of like conflicting issues with the actual Gorilla Glue company, a lot of companies have changed their Gorilla Glue's names to stuff like GG4 or just the glue. But yeah, that glue definitely gives it, for whatever reason, ours at my work is more of an indica leaner. I feel like traditionally speaking, glue was always more of like a sativa leaner, I've heard, at least. I don't know. I never really got too into it with the technicalities of it. But today we're smoking the Animal Mints. Good indica leaning hybrid. Got like a nice like earthy kind of flavor to it. Like, you know, the smell of like freshly cut grass. It's not nearly as intense as that, but it's got like a nice earthy kind of fresh after a rainstorm kind of smell. But yeah, let's smoke it. Let's do it. Cheers, folks. Nice. Delicious. Fantastic. It's a great way to start the podcast. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that voice though. Don't worry your little hearts. I'm not going to do that the whole podcast. Ooh. All right. And I was going to do the Keef soda review on the podcast as well, but then I got high and I kind of jumped the gun and tried the product out already. I actually did purchase 2 flavors a couple days ago that I haven't tried previously. But yeah, I got eager with it. I wanted to have them when I wanted to have them. I didn't save them for the podcast. I'm sorry. I failed you guys. But yeah, the flavors that I grabbed were the Keef Soda Blue Raz and the Keef Soda Orange Kush. Both were the 100 milligram options. You know, I have a med card myself, so I get them through the med side. So 100 milligram edible is pretty good. And I know edibles hit everybody a bit differently depending on how their body breaks it down and stuff. But personally for me, I feel like I'm like fairly down the middle with my edibles. So I get hit pretty hard, but it's never really to the point where I feel like I'm dying or I need to go to the emergency room or something, which is a good thing. That's kind of unfortunate that, some people are affected very negatively, very heavily by edibles. And so they have to unfortunately keep that out of their regime. But the sodas were pretty good, if I'm being completely honest. Both of them had a bit of a hashy flavor. The Blue Raz, less so than the Orange Kush. But I feel like the Orange Kush was kind of like the high octane flavor, their medicated Mountain Dew, because the hashiness kind of worked with the flavor, if I'm being completely real with it. It was that orange kind of flavor, or it was an orange soda. So I think it kind of like helped just pair along with the hashiness a bit. It worked. It worked somehow. And I had no problem slamming the whole thing. But as you can probably might be able to tell, little plot twist, I actually finished the rest of the soda earlier today. I wasn't, to be honest, intending to record a podcast on this specific day. I was actually going to record it either tomorrow or the next day, but I had some time and I wanted to do this. It's good to do the podcast because this is good, man. No, if I'm being completely honest, I've been feeling a little in my head lately. Like nothing too crazy, just feeling a bit foggy and stuff with work and, things coming out of the woodworks that are just like issues and obstacles in the way of life, just like everybody crosses, but it gets tiring after a bit. And see, I kind of forgot where I was actually going with that, but we're here. That's what it is. When the world tries to get you down, I don't want to let it. So we're here doing something that we enjoy. We are recording the podcast, even if it is just me rambling for 20 to 30 minutes in your ear. I still appreciate you guys checking this stuff out, tuning in, listening to the rambles, because, hey, sometimes all we need is to just have some background noise. And if you want to use me as that background noise, I got you. But yeah, so I talked about on the last podcast, I talked about a couple things on the last podcast and the podcast before that I didn't follow up on. Like, I kind of wanted to talk about the Loki show, but shit, that ended like 3 weeks ago. That was almost like a month. No, it hasn't been like a month. It's been like 2 weeks since the show ended. But I forgot to talk about it on the podcast. It was a pretty good ending. I think it was super dope. I'm sure tons of people have seen it at this point. But, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet, you might want to skip ahead a little bit. But at the end of season 1 of the Loki show, it's not called the Loki show. It makes me sound like an old person. At the end of season 1 of Loki, Sylvie, one of his variants, ends up creating the multiverse, which is super dope because they're just setting up the entire next sequence for the movies. They're setting up the next Marvel cinematic phase, which is pretty fucking cool. I talked about it 2 podcasts ago about how they're setting up King the Conqueror, and it's silly. Part of me wanted to be like, ha, I knew it. I'm just so smart. But people have been talking about Kang being in the show, I think, since it started. But still, I'm going to take that win. I was right. Haha. He ended up being the villain. Confirmed. I win. Nerdy River won. You nerds, none. Oh, man, that's a good soda. It's got me feeling it. But no, yeah, Loki was a pretty good show. And they're setting up for a season 2. I guess the show was initially supposed to just be like the other Marvel television series. It was supposed to be a limited series with only one straightforward all the way through season. But, of course, just like many things last year, COVID ended up causing issues with filming. So they had to take a break. And, yeah, I think they filmed part 2 separately. And they're just going to release that, I think, like next year or the year after. There's a little post-credit scene in the Loki season finale where they mention that he's coming back for a season 2. So yeah, I don't remember correctly though if there was like a date involved with that, but it's confirmed he's coming back, which is pretty dang neat if I do say so myself. But yeah, I lost track of where I was going. Again, that's a very good soda. So that's why I give that product a 10 out of 10, because it further reinforces my goldfish brain. This is why I should write stuff down. But luckily today I have my handy dandy little journal bought at Five Below. It's just this like nice. I don't want to say cheap because that makes it sound bad, but it's a cheap store. It's like a dollar store, except the most expensive things in there are probably like $10 or $15. So there's a little more variety with it. But it got this dope little book. Got one of those little tassel bookmarks. So we're gonna use this for the podcast. And yeah, let's see. I'm just checking off my list. See, it's like a double-edged sword because sometimes I'll write a list and I feel like I run through the points too fast and then I like run out of talking points for the podcast. But then other times I feel like if I just let myself wing it and just try to go in without any plan, kind of like I am right now, I just ramble. Just ramble. Don't talk about anything in specific, but it's fine. Ooh, my voice cracked. But it's fine. We're having a good time. That's the whole point of the podcast is just to speak. But let's see. Oh yeah. Anybody seen the trailer for the new Candyman movie? Looks pretty damn good. I guess it's coming out August 27th or something like that. I don't know if it's supposed to be a reboot or a continuation. I think it would make sense as a continuation because it's supposed to be set in like today's time. But it looks pretty spooky. If I'm not mistaken, they're bringing back the original actor from the first Candyman movies. I forget his name, but yeah, they're bringing back the original Candyman for it. It's going to be another Jordan Peele horror movie, which I'm pretty excited for. I feel like people are it's very like hit or miss with Jordan Peele. People either fucking love his horror movies or they're just like not a fan of them in the slightest in any sort of kind of way. But it's interesting because I have a couple coworkers like that where they're just like not a fan at all. But I could watch Get Out and Us over and over and over. I think those are good movies. They're thrilling. It's not really spooky, thrilling more so. But I dig it. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, new Candyman movie coming out, man. Looks pretty dang good. But I think I'm going to take this opportunity right here to take another hit of this animal mints, let's do it. Ooh, I got my fancy little lighter case. It's called the Toker Poker, or it's a pretty cool, it's hard to explain. It's like an ergonomic shape, I guess. I guess it's really not that hard to explain. It's just like an ergonomic shape, fits like real comfortable in my hand, but it has this little like bowl packer on one end. And it's got like this like little actual poker that you can rotate out and use to clean up your bowl and stuff like that. And it has a little spot where you can spool some hemp wick on too. So it's pretty dope. It makes me feel like Batman when I smoke weed because it's like an all-in-one gadget. It's dope. I like it. But let's take a hit. Let's do it. Cheers, folks. And that's how we do it. That is how we do it, my friends. Here, one sec. I needed to... There we go. Ooh. Oh, excuse me. That was a... Man, I need to clean this bowl piece. That is an issue I run into a lot with my bowls. I'll get them super clean, like one time, and then for the next month and a half, 2 months, I'll just like completely half-ass how I clean the fucking bowl. It's terrible. It's bad. Excuse me. Let's see. I'm just gonna move this mic. I apologize for the noise. Here, I'll try to move this as silently as possible. Okay. So yeah, 2 weeks ago on the podcast, I wanted to talk about hominids. I just think it's like really fascinating, just humans and hominids in general. But I remember saying I wanted to script it out and stuff like that, and surprise, surprise, your boy did not script anything out for it. But I still want to talk about it because I've been rambling about nothing for 15 minutes, and I want to ramble at least for the next 15 minutes about something. So, it balances itself out and things like that. Excuse me, man, I got cotton mouth like a motherfucker. All right, so I wanted to talk about hominids because I think they're cool. And you might be thinking to yourself right now, what the fuck is a hominid? Why does this guy keep saying that? What? But I got the definition right here, so I got you covered, man. Don't even worry about it. A hominid is any of a family of erect bipedal primate mammals that includes recent humans together with extinct ancestral and related forms, and in some recent classifications, the gorilla, chimp, and orangutan. That's a mouthful. But yeah, long story short, in layman's terms, hominids are what we are. That's our classification of animal within the animal kingdom. It's weird. I feel like a lot of people have very loose terminology for what they think is an animal and what is not. But for the most part, in biology, we have, I say for the most part, let's remember that. I'm not like a biology major, but there is flora and there is fauna. Flora is the entire classification of plants, and fauna is the classification of animals, of warm, nah, I was going to say warm blooded, of just animals. That's how they go about it. And I say for the most part because you got things like fungus and bacteria, which I think follow their own different categories and classifications. But for the most part, we have flora and fauna, and humans are fauna. We're animals, man. And yeah, I just think that hominids are super cool, just because I see so many similarities between us and our animal ancestors and cousins and things like that. The like gorillas and orangutans and chimps, bonobos, and so on, so on. I forget the others, but it's just interesting to me because I feel like I was taught growing up that Homo sapiens, our species specifically, has done so much and accomplished so much. We really have. Like, it's insane. Even just in the last century, what humans have been able to accomplish is like pretty mind-boggling. But I think about it, and I've like done some research into it because I get high and I get curious, so I look these things up. But oh my goodness, where was I going with that? That's right. Animals, humans, Homo sapiens, are not the first hominid species to use stone tools. We aren't the first species to bury our dead. We aren't the first species to have some kind of like I want to say like a verbal language. I don't want to say like language. It's not like they didn't speak something as complex verbally as we do, but they still communicated verbally to some degree. I mean, you can even look at the primates that exist now, like bonobos and chimps and howler monkeys and things like that. I know those are monkeys, but they're still primates. Look at the primates nowadays. They are still very vocal. It's a very vocal order. And I know that it's an order because I have that pulled up right here. So I'm super smart, just so you knew. But no, it is just interesting to me how there were so many different species of hominids that roamed the earth at one point. I want to say there were at least like 6 or 7 species just roaming the planet altogether. And could you imagine that? You're just walking through the plains with your group of cave buddies. You guys have your little tarps on of mammoth hide. You got your stick and stone spear, and you're crossing the ridge, and you see some other humans, but they're a different species. You know, like that's wild. Like they're Neanderthals, or I gotta look them up. But there was like a species of human that was essentially the size of hobbits, and that was that they just existed. You know, and granted, I don't think there's enough evidence to support that they did exist at the exact same time as like Homo sapiens. They were a lot earlier than us, but there were at some point multiple just species of primates or hominids just being together, and that is super wild and super cool. Is because we really don't have that many differences from animals when it comes to stuff like that. Like in the grand scheme of things, when you think about how long the planets have taken to be created and to form into what they are now, we are pretty small and insignificant in all of that. And so yeah, to see that we really do have this much of a connection with the earth and with other animals and things, it's pretty fascinating, man. I think it's pretty cool. And yeah, I thought that was just dope. I'm kind of losing my train of thought right now, but that's okay because we're just vibing, we're just chilling. And yeah, this is just for gits and shiggles. Oh, I that's right. I finally figured out the password to my other SoundCloud, to my music page. So pretty hype about that. You know, you never know. You might get some new music coming soon. I don't even know if people use SoundCloud anymore. That's the wildest thing. I went to high school with so many people that ended up doing music to some form or degree, and I don't think anybody really even uses SoundCloud anymore. Like before the significance, before like the huge blow up of the SoundCloud artists like Suicide Boys or fuck, even XXX Tentacion, I think I said his name right. Before these artists blew up, SoundCloud was essentially taken as a joke, and it's still, I feel like, is is to a degree taken as kind of a joke, like the joke of SoundCloud rappers and stuff like that. But it was proven that it can be used as a pretty significant and very beneficial and effective networking tool, and that's just pretty cool. It's pretty cool, but at the same time, it's just interesting to see that once people used SoundCloud as the platform they were hoping to use it as, people kind of jumped off of that and they went to different platforms and things like that. So that's interesting. But yeah, I still found my old password. So good news is I would like to make some more music. It'd be fun. Because that's what we're trying to do, man. This is all about self-care and self-love. I think that's the best way, one of the best ways to describe this podcast is I want people to be able to tune in, have some laughs, listen to some bullshit and talks and stuff like that. But it's also to help just like keep track of where I am accountability wise when it comes to like the self-care stuff. Because we're just doing this to have a good time. We're just doing this because we want to create and we just want to be a part of something good, something positive and beneficial. And I say we as like a community kind of thing. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to do some music too, because we're already trying to do stuff that makes us feel good by producing and things. And I hope that encourages you folks to do that too. I think that's why I keep saying we, is I want it to be something that is like inclusive and community driven. Like while I personally am trying to use this podcast partially as a way to keep myself accountable with the things that I enjoy doing, I want it to hopefully be an inspiration for other people to try to do the same thing for themselves. And yeah, I think that's why if anybody really does want to join me on this podcast journey, then that's super cool, man. I think that's really something that is to be appreciated, and I do appreciate the fuck out of y'all for that. But let's do it. Let's just keep building ourselves, man. Everybody always talks about your body's a temple and things like that, and well, just like a temple, we can build upon it. So let's build upon ourselves and do something good, do something beneficial, because even as of late, I've been trying to work out a bit more, and it feels good. It's only been like 3 days, essentially, but it's been busting my ass, if I'm being completely honest. Like yesterday, when I woke up, I was so motherfucking sore. It was hard, man. It hurt. I had to drink a lot of water. I had to take some fucking Advil because I felt like I was frozen in my own body. But it felt good. I haven't worked out in a minute. Like, I haven't worked out in months. If I'm being honest, probably like 4 or 5 months. Like, not two. Last month, I broke my right hand. No, 2 months ago now. Yeah, 2 months ago, I broke my right hand. And so I had to take it easy. And I couldn't do push-ups or anything like that. And that was like the bare minimum that I was doing beforehand to like, quote unquote, stay healthy. And so without my ability to do push-ups anymore, I just went completely out of shape. So it got bad. I got a little squishy, a little soft. So I felt inspired to try to do something. My mom, actually, she's been working out a lot lately, and she uses the Beachbody On Demand app on, I think, like the Fire Stick or something. Doesn't matter the platform, but she uses the app, and she gave me the password for it. So I thought to myself, there's really no excuse for me to not be working out now. So yeah, I've started lifting weights pretty good. I've been doing it for 3 days consecutively. That's, again, the very start of that journey too, but it's dope. When I first made my Instagram page, I tried making it more of like a fitness page because I was really like, I was busting my ass doing some insanity and doing the Beachbody programs and stuff then too. But I fell off of that. I hurt myself then and I fell off of the programs. But I think I would like to do something like that too. Like that would be pretty cool. Just do like a whole community kind of thing where we got some like fitness stuff going on, and yeah, just trying to like get people encouraged to move and things like that. Because I'm trying to be about that body positivity and stuff like that too. I'm not trying to create like a fitness thing to like tell people to look a certain way or anything like that. I want to talk about fitness and stuff like that as well, because I want people to be able to move. I want us to feel good. because that's why I'm doing it for myself. Because like if I'm being completely honest, I've suffered from like some pretty bad body dysmorphia most of my life, since I was like a preteen and stuff like that. I might dive into that more in like a later podcast because I would actually like to get something laid out for that. Like that would be nice, just it's a pretty important. So I'd like to make sure that if I'm going to talk about that, I'd talk about it properly. But uh, yeah, my body dysmorphia and stuff like that has caused me to obsess more so on the physical aspect of working out and not or the external aspect of working out and not the internal aspect. Like when I was younger, I was working out way too hard, and I wasn't eating enough. Like I wasn't balancing it out. I was just working more and more and more than my body could handle. So I was pretty much eating away at myself. I got really skinny. I got down to like 145, 150 when I was at the skinniest, and I hurt myself. I think that's what contributed to me hurting myself. Is it was malnutrition and shit. But yeah, it was because I was focused more so on the external part of working out. I was focused and obsessed on how I looked. I wasn't really paying attention to how I felt or the food I was putting into my body. My thing was, I was 19. I thought, I'm young. I'm working out hard as hell right now. It doesn't matter what I eat because I'm going to be able to burn it off. And it's like, while that was true, it's also about how I'm fueling myself. It's not just about being able to burn the extra calories off. It's about being able to keep your body going and make sure that your body is getting the appropriate things that it needs. And I think that's really what my focus is going to be more so with this current workout journey. I'm 8 years older. God, that's so wild to think. Yeah, I'm 8 years older. I'm 27. I'm nearing 30. And while I do like the idea of looking healthier, I'm trying to focus more so on the internal and the mental aspects of it. I want to feel better. I'm doing this workout so that I myself can feel good when I wear like a certain shirt or some shit like that. I want myself to feel not winded when I walk up the little hill next to my apartment complex to go to my car. Like it's little things that I want to do for myself. And I think it also has to do with the fact that I'm happy in a relationship now too, because when I was younger and working out really hard, I was single, and I felt like a part of me was like peacocking a bit with working out, but so I was like really focused on the physical, on what people were going to think of me physically, what their opinion was on how I looked because I worked out. But now I'm not really concerned with that. I'm in a relationship, so I have I really don't care what other people think of my appearance. When I'm put myself together, when I'm looking put together and like trimmed up and stuff like that, I'm doing that for me. And I think it's time that I do that with my health too, my physical health. But I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to feel better because while I am 27, I am a bit older. I'm 27. Like I still have like plenty of pep in my step. And so I feel confident in myself that this is going to be a good journey. And y'all should, if y'all are feeling it too, like let's do this together. Let's hop on this journey together. Let's do better for ourselves because we want to feel better. Not because we're doing it to make others feel good about us. We're not doing it because society or X, Y, and Z is telling us to do it. We're doing it because we want to and because of how we want to feel. And I think that is fucking beautiful, if I'm being completely honest. But looks like we're nearing the 30-minute mark right now. I think it would be very appropriate if we took one more hit together as a podcast. And I say together, I mean me and my microphone with you guys listening. But if you're listening and you want to smoke along, then smoke along, man. Like, let's do it. We're in this together. Like, we're High School Musical in this shit. So come on, Zac Efron, let's fucking hit this bowl. Ooh, I got a text message. Oh no, it's not a text message. It's a fucking email. Garbage spam emails. I hate them. Hate them, hate them. Do you ever feel like... Okay, so sometimes I feel like I spend a good 20 minutes unsubscribing from all those spam emails and shit like that. And yet every day I check my email and there's just like 30 fucking spam emails to take the places of the ones that I just deleted. It's like a goddamn hydra. I hate it. You cut off one spam email to your fucking address, you get 3 more the next day. See, it's got me flustered. It's got me flabbergasted. I can't even get a sentence out straight right now. It's probably because I'm thirsty too. Oh, fantastic. Random thought, but I've been watching a couple of YouTubers lately. It's not really a random thought. I'm leaning into something, I promise. I've been watching a couple of YouTubers lately who have their own podcasts, and it really inspires me. I think it would be really cool to start filming the podcast along with doing other filmed content. And because of that, I think I might start a Patreon for this podcast. That'd be super cool. I haven't really looked into it too much just yet. It was actually a thought that I just had while I'm recording right now. So I got to do a lot more research into that. But yeah, I think that would be cool. Do a little Patreon for this. Give people a little extra video or extra fucking podcast message or something like that weekly. We'll figure things out. We'll get things all taken care of because I think it would be really nice to be able to expand on this stuff, be able to do more with this. And how cool would that be? If we were able to just build this up to a point where I could start filming it too, then I would be able to film the Twitch streams as well, which I haven't even started yet. But we're going to get there, man. We're going to get there. And we're going to do it right from the river. But yeah, so we're nearing on that 32.5-minute mark right now, you guys. I think I'm going to call it for this episode. I'm going to just end it on that note. Of course, we didn't really talk about much today, but you know, honestly, when do we ever? The whole point is y'all are here, and I'm happy about that. But yeah, thanks for tuning in to episode 5 of the Right from the River podcast. We made it. We made it to 5 episodes so far. We are 5% there to our 100 episode mark. That's right. Again, this is What's Up Riv, coming at you from the Right from the River podcast. You guys have a safe week. I will catch you next time. Peace.